Hit me wrong. Somebody called me today and was like, hey, yo, man, you $250,000. I know what I got to do. Nah, I may not do it either. And it's not that I have nothing against the LGBTQ people.
Oh, yeah, I ain't saying this shit.
I just may not understand. I may not be in the know enough to feel comfortable enough to do this. I just don't, because I don't want to start doing that.
Look where he at, though.
Maybe I don't want to be comfortable with this life.
Oh, okay. But y'all gonna stay off of that okay? Culture Vultures network, okay, bro. You go in there, you literally going there to screw yourself.
Hold on. I may not be comfortable rapping this song, and this man is looking at me with lustful eyes, with his nipples out, with lipstick on, rapping my lyrics to me.
The good news is, Young Jock ain't really big enough to get canceled.
He's not now, but I will say this: Young Jock is on the radio in Atlanta and it's syndicated. It gets broadcast up here.
Oh, yeah, he's in the Mecca.
Yeah, so that's my thing. It's Atlanta, Chicago, and San Francisco. They fighting for the top spot as far as the gays are concerned. And shout out to our listeners from all cultures, from all backgrounds. And look, y'all already know, because shout out to Daryl. Daryl sent me this, and he's like, yo, my community is at war with y'all once again.
We're not at war with y'all, man. Y'all are our brothers, man. I don't care who you point.
Nah, me and him, we always laugh at that. It's because
I met Daryl, didn't
I? He was at the show.
Yeah, he's
and
cool.
I told Daryl all the time, until y'all apologize to us for Jussie Smollett, we at war. Like, I don't care. And he was like, y'all see, we told y'all he was lying too. Like, we knew a lie. But it's funny, like, I looked at Young Jock, and only reason why I play that, I know Mike is about to stay away from this.
Yeah, certain things I don't touch.
Yo, black men, certain topics you should stay away from.
Like Pastor Mike will.
Nah, like, this is a topic. If you are a straight black man, you don't talk about it's like a certain amount of subsets you just stay away from.
Yeah.
That community will get you up out of here. Yeah, they will. Also, be careful about what platform you go on.
Yeah, I don't. Dude,
you on Vlad.
Yeah, you know only Vlad baited him.
Bruh.
So
that was a bait and switch. They got you there, and then it's like, yo,
but real talk, $250,000. My audience would be whatever the hell they wanted to be.
Yo,
I don't even care.
Y'all come up here and y'all say we got $250,000 for y'all to go to whatever.
You can wave Confederate flags, as far as I care.
I'm getting this pot off. I'm laughing.
Like, I don't
and
care.
Today's topic is going to be how much do $1 really cost. I already feel like that's going to be my title. We're going to figure it out. We got a lot of. Would you do it for the money?
Yeah.
And I just, the other part. Jock could have got away with, I don't like going into rooms I don't feel comfortable in. But when you do it and you make it seem like, because this man is gay, he must.
So who asked the question? Did Culture Vulture ask him if he would put on the show?
So Sean,
or did he just do what as people do on Culture Vulture, just go in and self-incriminate himself?
I think he just went in and self-incriminated himself. And Vlad has gotten to a unique way of having like different people interview people. So Sean Perez is like one of his newest interviewees, and like, bro, you gotta know what's up. Like, and here's the thing about Jock, I need you to understand, when y'all have a conversation later, when you get into something later with this community, Vlad is going to re-upload this clip and make more money
off of you, man. Y'all got to stop going on that Culture Vulture show, man.
Bro, it is crazy. I want to welcome everybody to the Black Dads Club. We are late on the podcast today because I had to work. I had to get money. My wedding anniversary coming up.
Yeah.
She sent me her gift like 2 months ago, dog. Yeah. And I ain't have it.
We trying to get paid.
Look, we need to, because she wants a new vanity. She told me, look, this is how great my wife is. Motherfucker thinks she's slick. She gonna hit me, and she ain't gonna make it this far in the pot. Well, damn, we just 3 minutes.
Yeah, she gonna be here.
She gonna be here for this. Sorry, man, you should skip like 45 seconds. Yeah. Yo, this motherfucker gonna tell me. She said, I think for Christmas, mind you, our anniversary is 6 weeks before Christmas. She said, I think. Oh, and her birthday is 2 weeks after Christmas.
Oh yeah, she got you. She intentionally put all that together so she could have a great fourth quarter every year.
Look, she said, I think we should redesign the bottom floor. I said, huh? You want to do this 3 weeks after our wedding anniversary, 6 weeks after
the whole floor?
Bro, she want new furniture, new floors, new walls. She was like, what you want to do with the TV? I'm like, can it stay at least? I don't want to have to patch, remove. Because, anybody that know me, I don't do no manual labor. I pay. I will pay for it. I went to school for a reason. I was a child worker underage worker with my parents.
You've done enough.
I've done enough. Like, you know what it is. I do want to welcome everybody to episode 113. We got some interesting topics today. I encourage everybody, please run over to what's that shit called? YouTube. Please go to YouTube. We have a new series on there called The Playbook. It's when I sit down with fathers. I do have a father, I'll tell you about it off air, who I want you to be here for. But we are sitting down with fathers, me, and we talk about a little bit of everything. It is not the show here. We can't replace Mike. Mike has to stick up for these pastors. He has to bring y'all to the front of the congregation.
I go in on the pastors, actually.
He do, which I love, which is fun. But this, it's just me talks with, dads. So last week we had Maya from Active Dads, who has a big community here and in Savannah. He actually just got on he just got off a Ice Cream with Dads tour where he went around the U.S. just scheduling these events. Yeah. And it was super dope. And, we had a crazy conversation because him and his dad just got cool, right? And Mad is in his 30s, and he grew up in a Pentecostal church. So of course that come out at the end.
Dude, the majority of blacks grew up Pentecostal. Whether you grew up, one is a Trinitarian, like it's actually the largest black faith. I don't know why we think it's like.
Well, they said it's with witchcraft. That's what they was trying to get off like 2 weeks ago on Facebook.
Oh, man. I'm not the biggest fan of religion, right? Like, God doesn't have a religion.
The religion major said this.
Yeah, I'm a religious studies major, so it's like I don't really. And my granddad's a pastor, my dad's a pastor, right? I grew up around this. I am not the biggest. I have seen the church from the inside and out.
Absolutely,
but it's one of those things where it's. We have to be righteous. We have to be righteous men. We have to believe in our creators. The whole pastors thing, like, again, even me calling myself Pastor Mike Will, it's actually a misnomer.
I like it.
Intentional. I like it too. People like it.
Yeah. They come up to me and they say, you got approached. Yeah. Yo, my host is famous. He got approached. Mike texted me and said somebody ran up on him. They knew who he was. Congrats to all our listeners, man. Like, hey, I love our listeners though. So in real life, people probably don't realize this about me. Like, I'm an introvert in real life. Facts.
So on the pod, it doesn't come across that way. But in real life, I am an introvert. So when people walk up to me, I'd be like,
yeah.
Where I know you from.
But the funny part talking to Ma was he's talking about how he ran across his dad. He over the course of 3 years, he only spoke to his dad twice, and it was 3 times. 2 of the times was when he needed a form for insurance for college, and the last time was he was calling his dad again for the form, and he was pissed off, and he went in on his dad, and he said, "Yo, once I got that out." Because he said his dad was perfect at being inconsistent. Yeah. He said, once I got that out, he said, we've been super close ever since. So it's been longer than a few years that they've been close. But, one of the conversations I had with him was, did you forgive your dad? Like, yeah. What does that look like? Have you really sat down and forgave him for that? Just not for him, but for you.
Yeah. I want to say, because the forgiveness is for you.
Yeah. And that was an interesting conversation. I encourage everybody to go look at that. He has one of his children is on the spectrum. He talked about how he figured that out, how he navigated that. And it was a beautiful thing because he said he heard another black man talk about it somewhere else. And he was like, something's not right. I see too much of that in my child. And he was like, he had to force doctors to run tests. And he said, finally, my kid got diagnosed, and he was like, everything's been so.
But that's the biggest part of So again, one of the things that fathers are good at is when a father shows up, when a male figure shows up, right? Mm-hmm. Things change in the room just a little bit, and I think sometimes that's undervalued. Yeah. Right. One thing that men understand is that if another man is in the room and he's in a disagreeable mood, things can escalate quickly, and it may cost you something physically. Yeah. So when a man shows up, it kind of put the onus on whoever's responsible there to be more accountable to their actions.
Absolutely.
So that's a benefit, right? What I see is that's minimized, right? Well, I don't need him. I'll just show up myself. Well, there's nothing you could do. I mean, the screeching is only going to go on for so long before they call security, right? Whereas, when a man shows up, there is no screeching. And security might not get here fast enough, right? So you're going to get a different result, right? That is a benefit of having active men around or active fathers, active dads. It's one of the biggest reasons I show up at my son's school like every year. Like let them see that like, yeah, there's a broad black man that cares about this kid. Right?
Facts.
So you have to be a little bit more careful.
Absolutely.
And how you handle things. I remember we had a Zoom call one year and we was talking about my son learning and like, you know, creating a learning plan for him as we were trying to get him on track because, you know, he does have some things he has to deal with. My son is actually hearing impaired. So I'm on this call and it's 4 women on this call, right? Me and my son's mother. And they're going in and they were saying something that I disagreed with. Right?
Yeah.
And I had to remind them that this is a little black boy and anything that you do now could affect him for the rest of his life. Yeah. And there's 4 white women trying to determine his future, right? And I said that, right? It stopped me having to deal with a lot of stuff moving forward. I bet it did. Moving forward, there was a little bit more careful in what their suggestions were. That happens because his father shows up, right? I didn't call anybody racist. I didn't call anybody a bigot. I didn't say anybody was wrong. I'm just saying, hey, you're going to have to see how my son is seen by the world. Facts. Right? But you don't get to decide that. He gets to position himself. Now, how the world sees him, that's up to the world. But I do have to allow him the option of being able to show up as who he is versus how you guys want him to be. Absolutely. So to the point of what you just said, it's like, no, being black men and being black fathers is very, very important. And despite the fact that y'all boys think that y'all can have babies out of wedlock.
Oh, we getting there.
Oh, you getting there?
Yeah, but before we get
breaks,
please, because look, I had to put a battery in Mike back yesterday. You know what I'm saying? I love doing that in our group chat. Yo, I have yet to see, and this might be a double negative, and my wife is definitely gonna turn the pot off after this. She hates when I do this. I have yet to see a Jada Pickett Smith meme that was not funny.
They have been hilarious.
All of them. From, yo, I never met Will Smith. I am Tupac. To her going down on Tupac in the car before he gets shot. That was the funniest.
That was messed up. That was kind of mean.
Because you ain't have to, but you know. But it's funny.
It was funny.
But yo, newsflash. I know we late on this topic, but Jada Pickett Smith sold crack. And she thought that y'all should know.
You know what? Low key, I don't know. I don't know if she did or didn't, man. I ain't for it. Like Jada is really coming across right now as unwell.
Okay.
Like there's a lot of stories. And here's the thing. As someone that has dealt with people that are unwell in the past, like I have a sympathy because when you're with that person in any kind of capacity, it is not funny.
Oh, I bet.
It is hellacious, right? Yes. It's funny in retrospect, but when you're in it with them, it's not funny. And to whoever's listening right now, if you think I'm talking about you, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about somebody else.
Facts.
Because there's quite a few of y'all. And there's a lot of unwell people, right? Like,
yeah.
So I think, you know, we gave this stat years ago, right? When it comes to the black community, out of every 100 women, only 10 go to therapy. Out of every 100 men, only 7 go to therapy, right? And at any given time, there's a good third of us that are mentally unwell in this country. Right? So that's the problem of what's going on. Jada is telling stories, man, that dare I say are unconfirmable. Right? Like even the whole thing, like, because she finally made me interested. Like I let the Tupac thing fly for as long as I could, and then I was like, when did they know each other? Right? So when I go and pull it up, they went to school together in the freshman and sophomore years.
Okay.
Junior year, Tupac went to San Francisco. He moved to San Francisco. Jada didn't graduate till the year after. Then she went to North Carolina. This is in the 80s. There's no text messaging. There's no instant messaging. There's no Facebook. Email. There's no email. The only way you can get in touch with somebody is calling long distance. And anybody my age or higher, how often did your mom let you pick up the phone and call somebody long distance?
Yo, we couldn't even call BET.
Man, you call somebody by accident on long distance, you get a whooping.
It was an ass whooping.
Yeah.
And I came in at the tail end of that.
Yeah. So again, the story itself does now. Do I think they know each other? Yes. But this story that they were friends.
Lovers. Let's call it what it is. Lovers.
Here's the thing. If Tupac and Jada was writing letters to each other and if she was in love with Tupac as much as she say she was, would she not have produced those letters by now?
Oh, yeah. Well, I think her youngest son got to finish writing them. Here's my thing. Here's the thing. So for those who not know, you have to know. Jada Pickett Smith is on a book tour. She's selling a book. And she has been on a press run for at least 2 weeks. Because I feel like last week we was laughing at some stuff.
Man, this press run feel like it's been since that.
Oh, this press run is years old.
Yeah.
We have been saying on this podcast, shout out to the pod, and we're going to get to some shit where Mike think he right again at the end. But this pod has been right. We told y'all years ago, Jada Pickett Smith was evil. I don't know why nobody believed us, nobody heard us. Black men have been calling her evil for some time. And I'm going to tell you why. It is like, and I'm going to take some off of her at the end, but we've been calling her evil, not because Will cheated, not because she cheated. It's because every time she gets to embarrass him, she says, let's add a little bit more. When you go to Chipotle and they season your shit and they sprinkle a little bit more, that's what she does. She says a little bit more, right? And so we get here, we had the Tupac story. Now you selling crack. Now it's reports to ET, which the Kardashians run, but I'm gonna let that right. I'm gonna let that do what it gotta do. But now your kids are saying they wish you would stop talking. It was like, oh, we gotta go on Matt Barnes. Why are you on All the Smoke?
Yeah. I mean,
why?
Then she shows up to Will shows up to a book tour in Baltimore saying that he supports her. It's okay.
How much do $1 cost, bruh?
Here's the thing when it comes to this. Like, low key, I think Will enjoys this. Same way we used to talk about D Wade, right? And Will's like,
oh, Will's on the cuck.
We used to be like, D Wade enjoys this, right?
Yeah, cucking is a thing.
So low key, I think Will enjoys this, and I think now we're like, okay, take us out of group chat.
Yeah, that's where this is. She's selling a book. Do you got to slam your man at every opportunity to sell your book? I mean, I believe.
You think anybody's buying that book? What is the book at right now?
I don't know. I don't think it even dropped yet. It's on every fucking Facebook post ever, with Amazon. But here's my thing. It's like, you selling a book. Like, is it necessary? Like, at what cost? And then your man is getting up there. He doing the slow talking. I think Will has a problem. I've been said that. And I think a lot of these celebrities do. I think a lot of these celebrities go misdiagnosed or undiagnosed.
Sold out stop at DC Howard Theater.
I bet. I mean, you get to see her. You hope Will show up. And my biggest issue with Will and Jada is before we had the Obamas, before we had, who else was up there with us?
It was just
Obamas. It was just Obamas, Jay and Beyonce. Like, Will Smith and Jada was the black couple that was like, this is the black couple for us. They came off perfect. They came off, you have a huge superstar. Jada wouldn't be herself if Will Smith wasn't her husband. Like, we got to keep it real there. So then you turn around and now we're at this position where it's like, damn, you just slamming this man. But I'm with you, Mike. The last 3 days of not being able to record, Will has proved to me that he liked this shit.
Yeah, he definitely likes it. And here's the thing, right? If this is what Will likes, if this is what Will is into, hey, more power to him. But I'm not gonna lie. Like, when I heard Will say in Baltimore, like, hey, this is my best friend and something the rest of my life, I'm not gonna lie. Like, it did sound a little ominous.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't sound like to 80. It sounded like however long it lasts, and I don't know how long I'm gonna be here. And I don't like that for Will Smith, but when you look at everything that Will is dealing with, right? And we don't know. Maybe behind the scenes, Will is such a dick and he is such a good actor that we're buying into it. I mean, let's leave that caveat here. I don't think that's the case, but perhaps he is, and perhaps these two people love each other way more than most of us are used to seeing.
Maybe because you showing up to that red table, you going around slapping people. When she said that, I thought it was a skit, but then she's turning around and was like, we weren't even together.
Well,
he ain't called me his wife in years.
And now none of it makes any sense, right? Like, if y'all haven't been together for 7 years, then what was the reason behind
showing up together?
The slap? What was the reason behind the red table talk? Like, now none of it makes sense. What is Will's book even talking about now? Yeah, right. Like, none of it makes any sense. So, and it's like, y'all don't need book money. Like, y'all got money.
Yeah, well, Will can't work no more.
Will
Did you watch the Slave movie?
No.
You don't like Slave movies?
No.
You from South Carolina, man. It's a little close to home.
It's a little close to home. And like, how many slave movies do we need? Don't even get me started. I'm not even gonna go on my pro black rant today.
Come
Not
on,
happening.
man. I like the
Yeah, I'm not getting sucked in.
Speaking of, we did talk about like, is this love? Is this real love? We do have a Facebook post, which I love to read, and I know y'all love to hear me read. It says, I love how you blurred out the name because I was reading that shit off. Because
I didn't want my man's name to be out here.
Yeah, I wouldn't have. I would have changed. I would have rhymed it, especially because I don't know him. So some good news, fellas. I won my child custody case that has been ongoing for 3+ years. I have joint custody and primary parent granted $1,200 in child support. Is that a lot? He got 2 kids.
$1,200 in child
$600
support?
a kid a month.
Yeah, I mean that's not a little bit.
Sure ain't. I don't want that extra bill.
Yeah.
Shit, I got to pay daycare today when I pick them up. I'm in Texas, and I will tell you, I went broke fighting for kids, ended up losing my job, and worked for DoorDash for nearly a year, 14 hours a day to make it. Lost my car, faced eviction, and lost family. Y'all got to start using periods and commas, please. Gee, this is the longest sentence.
You got to separate it.
There's no period after granted $1,200. Anyway, 14 hours a day to make it. Lost my car, faced eviction, lost family, and destroyed relationships in those 3 years from mental health suffering. Period. He said nothing, absolutely nothing, is more important than raising my children. Keep on, brothers. I know it's tough, but you can make it. Even if you suffer. Damn, he used that word. Even if you suffer every day.
Oh, that's suffering.
That is a new day. There is a new day ahead. Love you all as men. You could just say love you, bro. I love y'all. I'm going to fix it for you. I appreciate y'all. Yo.
That's too much. And you know what's crazy about this is that when you're fighting for custody, this is typically what it looks like. Like I wish I had better news for anybody out there that's fighting the custody fight. And this is why most men never make it to court. Like you'll see a lot of folks be like, oh, y'all don't even go to court for your kids. Well, it's hard to go to court for your kids because, for one, it's going to take 1.5 years in court. This man has lost his job, right? Work DoorDash 14 hours a day.
And that's tough. I'm telling y'all.
Lost his car door dashing, faced eviction, lost family, destroyed relationship. And it took him 3 years, right? So this is dedication. This is commitment. I applaud him for getting there. But I'm gonna tell you, when I read things like this, this is just one, right? We could read these. You could build a show on men custody fights and it'll never end.
Facts.
Low key, I get why if a dude says, you know what, if she got a good dad and a good brother, I'm out, right? Bro, and I get why men just be like sometimes like, yo, you know what, I'll just cut the check, right? Because sometimes you're dealing with somebody that the only thing they want to do is fuck with you, and they're gonna use those kids to do it. And because the fact that he has full custody, it means that she wasn't a great mom. Yeah,
my thing is like. As a person who used to drive for Uber, that's a hard job. And you're severely underpaid.
Yeah.
Now, his tax is going to look nice at the end of the year. That's something they do not want y'all to know. But, bruh, imagine that. You lost relationships. Who you think he lost them relationships with? Family members, her family. Because now that, we got this court order, you can't just go back to her mom's house and it just be perfect or good. You know what I'm saying? Like, it is tough in those situations. And, when it comes to custody, bro, it ain't like everybody that's on your side ends up on your side down the line.
No. And I believe men should fight for custody, right? I'm just saying, like, prepare yourself. And I know a lot of y'all hate this. This is part of the reason why you should get married before you have kids. Because custody is easier when you're married to the woman than if you're not married to the woman. Don't tell them.
They fighting so hard.
Now, I didn't say it's going to be easy. I said it's easier.
They fighting us so hard.
So if you are married to the woman and y'all divorced, it's like because the court kind of sees that you were already in the kid's life, so they don't really want to mess that up. Versus if you're trying to get custody of the kid and you've never been in the child's life, and this doesn't mean that you even a deadbeat. Yeah, women play keep away. Women play, no, I'm not bringing them over. Women play, you can pick them up at 7:05, but you got to drop them off at 9:14.
Yeah.
And if you get there at 9:09, they're like, I told you 9:14, right? Like,
you won't see them again.
Yeah. And if you drop them off at 9:16, they like, you're late. I told you 9:14, right? All those games are played. The point of the matter, simple of the matter is, men should make sure that they're with a woman that they don't mind having a child with, right? And if that's the case, why don't you marry? Y'all are not going to get me on this. I love her, so I could have a baby with her, and I'm gonna be a great dad outside of the home.
Facts.
Y'all.
We here now. Let me tell y'all. I sat on that clip for a long time. I made it. I didn't know how I want to present it, and I had this opportunity to present that clip with just the end part, because I thought that'd take off, right?
Yeah.
This is the joke about the internet. I thought the clip of, hey, being a father or being a parent is rewarding, but it's not fun. I thought that'd tip off because like most all parents feel that way.
Yes.
Right? And that didn't go nowhere. So I was like, damn, let me go ahead and add in the other 25 seconds before it, right? And then it showed me, and the reason why I dropped this clip, because I was in the Charlotte Facebook group. Shout out to everybody that's in there. And it was a girl in there who I think is a bot or just a fake profile. Let me put it like that. I don't think she's a bot. I think she's a fake profile. And she posted a story. She clipped a picture of like expenses of a single mom that she stole from like a battered women's shelter that was asking for donations. This is the wildest shit I've ever seen. She clipped that and she posted it in the group, and she was begging for money as a single mom, right? And my comment was simply, yo, you should just have kids with your husband.
Yes.
And it was funny to see the lines of people lined up to check me and to do the whole, why does that matter? Marriage don't mean, and you know, the weirdest part, bruh, and I tell you this, I had one young lady who told me marriage don't mean shit. Marriage ain't nothing. And you know what she told me in her last comment?
What?
I don't know who you over here talking about with y'all, because I am a wife. I just don't want to give my man kids. And I said, you are fucking delusional.
Well,
like, you don't.
If that's not what he wants, I mean, she could go with that. But if that's what he wants,
well, my thing is, why are you telling me marriage don't mean nothing and it ain't shit when you married?
When you
and you talking about you advocating for single parents, but you don't want kids, like,
you know, because low key, dude, a lot of these women don't want to be wives, right? They want to be married, they want weddings, and they want to be taken care of. But the ideal of coming into a relationship and serving, a lot of them just don't want to do that, right? And I think as men, we have to create the separation.
Facts.
Because if we sit here and we expect the most unreasonable batch of human beings on the planet to become reasonable all of a sudden, we're gonna be waiting forever. But like as a man though, like you do have to create, you know, a standard in yourself. Not a standard for her. Create a standard for yourself. Once you know what you're capable of as a man and how much you can produce and how much you can provide, you're gonna make sure you hand that to somebody that's worthy of it. You're not gonna just hand it to anybody. You're gonna be like, yeah, everything I do is unconditional, but I'm gonna make sure somebody gets this that needs it. Right? Someone that I want to take care of the ideal woman.
Facts.
Right? I don't want to take care of every woman. I want to take care of a woman that needs, like, a woman that's so special that you're like, yo, I got to make sure that you're not damaged out here by the world. I want to come in and protect you from that.
And you know what's weird to me is when y'all fight me on the internet about being married and wanting kids versus just having kids and not wanting to get married, y'all always give me the divorce rate and act like this world is killing co-parenting and single parenthood. Like, it's never, hey, I know the poverty level is higher in single parents. I know the educational levels are lower in single parents households. I know that we do the most fussing online, even though we're in the minority, right? You give me that, and you never give me that. You know what you tell me? Yo, divorce rates are 50%, 70% when we remarry, and you know what? It ain't like y'all picking the right husbands and wives.
I was about to say, but how about we work on that though, right? Like, the answer can't be, well, we're fucking up, so let's bring kids into fucked up situations.
Bruh.
I'm not telling you not to get divorced. I'm not telling you not to fuck. I'm saying, why don't we make sure that we don't bring children into scenarios that aren't ideal?
Facts.
They're the innocent party here. If you want, you could go boink whoever you want to boink. You could be as toxic as you want to be. Can we not bring black children into these situations? That is the most selfish thing I've ever seen.
It is. And we ain't gonna get on abortion rates and who leads that.
No, leave that alone.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, everybody has to grow up though. Everybody has to grow up. Men and women in our community. Like, this is toxic and this is terrible.
Hey man, but hey,
stop having babies out of wedlock.
Hey, but that's what y'all want to do. Red flag for you.
Oh, I mean, the fact that his dad met her and she had a 2-week-old, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, not,
Okay.
and I know y'all was probably expecting me to say the fact that she had kids.
No.
I wouldn't say that's a red flag, but
Why you outside?
but that's definitely a yellow flag. I ain't gonna lie. It's not a green flag, if we're being honest. So,
For me, I'm like, yo, you got a 2-week-old and you outside. How you meet
and you outside, right?
Yeah, how you?
So it's like that should have been the red flag. But okay, here's the thing I want to say on this, right? When we talk about the emotional labor of men, right? This man married a woman that had 2 kids. Presumably
He didn't marry her. He moved them in.
Oh, excuse me, moved them in, right? Presumably two baby fathers, because you have a 2-week-old and a 4-year-old, right? So I'm gonna assume that this is I'm assuming this is not the same guy. Could be the same guy, but I'm assuming it's not, right?
Okay.
You moved them in, you take care of them, and you have a child of your own.
With her.
Right?
Yep.
And then she leaves you after you have that child of your own, because she couldn't hit you with child support on the other 2, because you ain't adopt them. But your child, she could hit you with child support. So she leaves you, right? And now you have a child with this woman, right? Your only biological child.
And she don't even like you.
And your only biological child hates you, spits in your face in the last visitation per her brother. And then this man dies, right? With his only biological child hating him. This is the emotional labor of men that we don't discuss. I can almost assure you that man did not live to the great golden age of 80.
Oh, nah, but y'all want to have kids out of wedlock. But it's cool.
Yeah. Like this is the emotional labor of men. And that's one of the things, like listening to that story, he's even saying that, like, yo, I moved in with my dad. Because for him, I mean, the man been there since she was 2 weeks old, right?
Yeah.
So for him, that is his father, right?
That's what he said, yeah.
So she has him on child support, turning his biological child against him, while another man's seed moves into his home so he can continually raise that man's seed. Like, bruh, too much.
It's too much.
Like, fellas, you got, like, real talk, we have to recognize the red flags, bro.
Yeah.
And we cannot be dating women that are, I mean, I'm talking about like heart-shaped red flags, stop sign shaped red flags. Like, it's just every red flag, and we just going right through that. And I know the box crazy, because that's the only reason why you do stupid shit like this. It's because the box and the throat is just phenomenal.
Yeah, because they can take down 48 oysters at $15 a plate, 3 lemon drops, some potatoes.
Hey, man, you eat 48 oysters, like, real talk, man, that's disgusting.
How many oysters you think you could take down in the city?
I don't like oysters. I don't like
Really?
seafood.
Really?
Yeah, I eat fish, but I'm not crustaceans. I don't really fool with them.
Why you don't like the sea roaches of the world?
Because I seen like when you get them out live, they really move just like a bunch of roaches.
Yeah, they are.
Like I like shrimp. I'll mess with every now and then, but like I don't really do with crustaceans. Oyster girl, like that slurping and stuff. I'm gonna be honest, man. Like I'm probably about 6 in. I probably would have been like,
you doing? Nah, I fuck with oysters.
Nah, I'm be like, you doing the slurping?
Come on, you got to pause that or something. God, I'm clipping that shit. I'm clipping that. I'm letting you know on air. God dang. This is the most mature podcast ever.
Yeah, that was a pause. Hey, I don't know anything about that.
Ben and Ryan is in the car right now. Like, they do that all the time. Yo, Ryan's girl is amazing at causing like pause moments in our like group swim chat. Look here. If I ain't gonna lie, I can knock down 20 oysters. I love oysters.
That's disgusting.
You know, I like to dress them up. You know, I can't give y'all the spots in Charlotte where you can get the best oysters, but I'm gonna tell you why this is funny to me. I don't believe it. I don't believe the story at all. The story is Shorty went out. She been curving a guy. He hit her up at the wrong time, which was the right time for her. She wanted to go try out a new spot. It was $15 oysters for a dozen, and she got 4 of them. She got 3 lemon drops, some potatoes, and some crab cakes. And she noticed that he didn't come back to the table. He left her there. And so he hit her up and was like, yo, I cash up you money for the drinks, but I ain't agreed to none of this. Now, the reason when I first saw it, I automatically said, I'm calling cap. I don't believe it. This is a fake ass story. And I'm gonna tell you why. I didn't see this nigga hand. I didn't see his body. I didn't see his face. That's always a red flag to me, because women, and we're gonna get to one shorty quickly next, they love embarrassing men on these dates. Like she led with, I've been curving him. He's bothering me. I'm about to run his pockets, right? Also, like, the funnier part for me was my wife, when I went to Vegas, my wife clowned me for getting oysters at STK. She was like, "You are in a landlocked state,
and you ordered
She was like, "Where do you think they got them from?"
Solid point. From the freezer.
Absolutely. And so I was like, "So you in Atlanta? You know, Georgia is surrounded by water, but it's super far from Atlanta." And she was like, "Yo," like everybody in the comments, like, "Yo, do you know these are the bottom of the barrel oysters?" Now, the other reason, I don't know if y'all seen the videos later. The line is out the door for this chick. I mean, for out the door at this restaurant. I have it in my heart. I believe Atlanta is a bird on every corner. I believe somebody at that restaurant was like, "Yo, we just need to go viral." And it's the way they went viral was they got this girl to come in, and she's pretty. She like it works for her because now everybody going to research and see what you're looking like. And she got all the hot girl pictures up.
Yeah, she was attractive. You know, a little weaved out, but attractive.
I'm into that.
Yeah, you are. I'm not.
She was a little lighter than I like, but that's cool. I'm into that.
But the thing was, I mean, so to that point though, right? Like how did they get it off though, right? They didn't get it off because she went there and ate oysters. They got it off because they're saying that her date left her.
Yeah.
Right. So again, it's you know, it is that, you know, hey, if you could try to pin something on black men, you know, your shit is gonna go viral.
Yeah, and then you know the biggest problem for me,
and her tip was trash, by the way.
Bro, that was the biggest issue I had with everything.
Her tip was trash.
Yo, the oysters is 48. Your lemon drops got to at least be 9 a piece. So let's say that's another 27. I'm not the
no, like they had a whole tab there. It was like
180 something, right?
180, like
she left $11
She left $11 tip. Well, and I think she said she had like 14 on there, but even still, though, it was like 15% on the dot. Y'all never beat them allegations.
Look,
Next.
Women don't like women. What's on there? Tipping. Strip clubs, restaurants, y'all suck at tipping. And it's fine.
Y'all never beat them allegations.
It's fine, man. Then, you know, it wasn't a brother involved, but it might as well have been. Sister went, she said she too good for the Cheesecake Factory. You've been to Cheesecake before.
Hey, I thought Cheesecake Factory was okay, man. I mean, hey, I love me some red velvet cheesecake, upside down cheesecake. Anytime I go out to Vegas, typically I stay at the Venetian. And they, you know, downstairs is the parent company of the Cheesecake Deluxe. So I've never thought Cheesecake Factory was fine dining. But
you got to take me to Vegas.
Yeah, we got to head out there.
No, you got to take me. You taking me to Miami? I'm sounding like a bird. You taking me to Atlanta?
No, I want to take y'all boys to Amsterdam. That's where I want to take y'all. That's where I want to go. I want to take y'all to Amsterdam.
We can leave Eds at home. It'll be a pod trip. We can write it off.
Yeah, we can write it off. But no, I mean, look, the fact that this is why I tell y'all don't do dinner dates, man, because like the behaviors right now are just through the roof. Like, I'm sorry, man. First off, she was late for the date. And this is probably a skit, right?
I don't know.
It has to be because they went on to do Kevin's pod. Like he's known for skits.
Okay.
But anyway, Cheesecake Factory's it's not a cheap date. It's not a bad date. I don't know what y'all getting off from. Like y'all doing too much.
Yeah, my man was in a Tesla. First of all, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm not gonna get into if I thought this was her type.
No, let's get into it because according to the dating divide, they respond to sisters respond to white men the most, Asian men. This was Asian man second, Hispanic man third, and black men fourth. I mean, like we as black men, we do need to realize that like on these dating apps that sisters ain't checking for black men.
You know, my problem is like this goes back to my main topic of how much do $1 cost, yo. I believe the oyster girl was chasing clout. She got it, and I do believe the oyster girl got a check because, like I said, the videos of the line going into this restaurant have been crazy. So I'm looking at Cheesecake Factory girl, and I was gonna play this dry ass video with her fake. She's getting ready to cry. She still got on them baby doll lashes. Her eyebrows are trash. You know, as a photographer who deal with a lot of makeup all the time, we're gonna get into some makeup in a little bit. Trash. You know, she in this green ass dress with she was in a green dress with purple eyeshadow, purple lipstick, trash like that. Yo, sis, it's not there. But the thing is, you make a video I was gonna play the video of her saying, yo, it's always my intention when I create stuff to empower women. And you thought that embarrassing a man who you felt like took you to a place you wasn't worthy to. And then, you know, you're telling him, don't take me home. Why are you hitting record? Well, it's like, how much do $1 cost for black women, yo?
But let's be clear, right? She says she wanted to empower women, right? And to do that, she wanted to financially abuse and denigrate a man, right? So what we got to be honest with is that right now in the dating market, that abuse of men, right, is the empowering, right? And where did they learn that from, right? They learned it from the oppression of supremacy, right? And so in supremacy, there is not, we're just better than you, right? We also have to denigrate you, right? We gotta, you know, we have to apartheid blacks. And speaking on apartheid, speaking of Cheesecake Factory, a little fun fact I learned in the comment section of that was, you know, a lot of y'all talk shit about like Red Lobster and Olive Garden.
Okay.
I don't know what family that they're under now, but the man who founded that was founded in Georgia, and he was pretty much one of the few restaurants that during the apartheid let blacks sit wherever they wanted in the restaurant. And he said, "No, I'm not going to change it. They can come in and sit where they want."
They still do.
Yeah, so let's be clear, you know, just even a little history, you know,
Look
when
at
we
you,
think,
history major.
yeah, when we think that we're too good for things, right? Like understanding that, like, no, we're not too good for Cheesecake Factory, not too good for Red Lobster, like Olive Garden. Everything doesn't have to be a $400 dinner.
It don't.
Unless you make $400,000 a year, then it can be.
Then you can go to STK and get the oysters in Vegas. Shout out. I'm going to Vegas twice next year, I believe. I said I was gonna stop, but they be calling me, man. I was watching
We do need to go and do a pool party and a show.
Oh boy.
Yeah, we need it.
Boy.
Y'all can see Pastor Mike Will.
Yeah. And y'all see me doing what I used to be good at, you know. I used to have a role. We're gonna get to roles. Let me hurry up. Cause there's a role that men have to play when they out with the group. And I used to play a role. I was the shy guy, and I was young, and I was broke. But you know, I was always there. I was never a creep. I was a good guy to be around. Before we get there, Carly Russell, do you believe she should go to jail?
No, I'm against mass incarceration in general.
Do you want to bid on her first interview? Candace Owens said she got 18 racks.
Nah, dude, real talk. Like right now, like ladies in America are so damn delusional. Like I don't.
Oh gosh,
I don't really want to have a conversation.
Yo, black
Especially
women,
when I
y'all
gotta pay
having
for
a
it.
year.
Yeah. We ladies are having a year.
Yeah, like
ladies are having a year, man. Like I just told you, Jada. I think Jada's making up half of this shit, right? I have no desire to interview any of these people, man. No, I think half of the interviews this year are just not going to age well.
Oh, facts. I don't believe Carly should go to jail, especially because what she has to pay back is cheaper than
Well, she got on GoFundMe.
Well, but it's cheaper than they want her to pay back 18 grand, right?
Yeah.
It will cost in her state 22 grand to house her in jail for 1 year.
Yeah. I don't think
what are we doing here?
Yeah, I don't think she need to go to jail. I mean, maybe like if you want to throw in over the weekend, you know, since she wanted to be missing for the weekend, like sure. But
solitary. Solitary confinement.
But outside of that, like no, she don't need to go to jail.
I do believe we need to have like psych evaluations.
I am anti-mass incarceration. Matter of fact, I think the only thing we need in this country is just to bring back the ability to smack people. Like everybody, like men, women, like if somebody's in front of you and they cutting up, you should be able to smack them, and it's just a citation.
You got to be the same gender though. We can't go back to the 60s when these men was just going around New York smacking. Men was at the event and the dude was mad he couldn't he was talking about how you could just slap your wife. I hate when old men tell me shit like that because I've heard it many times. I'm like, yo, that sounds crazy.
I could go for same gender smacking.
Yeah, same gender.
We need to brace smack it back.
Well, I can let my girl slap you.
Yeah, we need to brace smack it back.
First take. This is when I swear the vagina will not dry up on this topic. We're gonna make it quick. First take. Stephen A. Smith kept using the term vibrated with Molly. I am here to let y'all know she got 6 months. She's gonna leave or something's gonna happen.
She about to get paid.
Yeah, she gonna get paid.
I got to see this clip, man.
It's not that bad, but it's like it's her Molly. And I'm not saying she should. She doesn't hide well when she's uncomfortable. And Molly's annoying. I will say that she was annoying before she married my boy and divorced him. She was annoying when she's been annoying.
Men that can't flirt do come across as creepy. So that probably is
I don't think he was flirting. I think he was just I don't know if anybody's ever watched like a live show and you've been in church when the pastor's preaching and somebody's cell phone go off.
Yeah.
And everybody in the church, besides the people that turn around, try to act like we didn't hear.
We don't hear it.
And I think that's what happened. Her phone just went off and he said ring. And she was like, no, it vibrated. And he was like, I don't want to use that word. And she was like, whatever. Then I think he was like, all right, here's the word. I'm about to use vibrating, vibrator, blah, blah, blah. And I think she was like, all right. And then she did the whole, this is Disney. And my favorite line is she told him, she said, this isn't the Stephen A. Smith show. Oh, which was that's why I was like, oh, she gone. She up out of here. Ooh, yeah. Shannon.
They got into it after that.
Yeah. Facts. Shannon Sharp, man.
Hey, when we get bigger, man, are we doing the whole makeup thing, or can we just get the lighting right?
Like my son say, hey, I'm pretty.
Can we just get the lighting right? I don't want to do the whole makeup.
My
thing.
son says it all the time. He said, look, I'm pretty.
Right.
That's what A$AP Rocky say. I'm a pretty motherfucker. I'm getting my makeup done. But
I think I'm gonna just get the lighting right.
Look, man, we got to look. Now I need my skin to be smooth. I am going to have Darnell on payroll. Like, I got to put him on payroll so I got to have a haircut.
Oh yeah. No. We get shaped up. I don't think I need to.
I think, let me put it like this. Mike, these cameras are in 4K, but they're in the low resolution 4K.
Yeah.
As sharp as they is, and we sharper than anybody in this damn state.
Yeah.
Cameras, right?
Yeah.
I could shoot this in 8K. I just don't have a computer to edit in 8K.
Got you.
Right? And it takes up so much space.
So when we go 8K, you're saying that we're gonna need makeup.
I'm gonna say they're gonna be able to point out your nose hairs in each one.
Well, let's just shoot it in 4K. It's a very easy problem to fix here.
So, and
don't shoot it in 8K.
And the cameras that they're using, those are like the great cameras. So I do believe it's one of those things. And a lot of times with lights, they put the shine on your face. You know what I'm saying? A lot of things show up. So I do understand the makeup part. I'm just trying to figure out, like, Shannon, that was bad, bro.
That was bad.
And I felt like, I know it wasn't on purpose because I don't believe $1 costs this much.
Yeah.
But I do believe, like, I know Molly had to be laughing. I know Stephen A. Smith had to be like,
man, the comments was crazy. When they said Shannon, when they said he was casket sharp.
Bruh. That was funny. When they said he looked like Randy Jackson, that shit was hilarious. I was like, because he did look like Randy Jackson. But even Molly makeup be looking a little mess a little bit, but it's not bad. I ain't here to bash her. It ain't always bad. But like Stephen A. Smith, his makeup ain't never bad. But, you know, I don't know, man. I was surprised to see Rich Paul on First Take, especially with the beef, at least like the back and forth. Not really beef, but like, yeah, I call it black man beef, where it's like, yo, we taking jabs, but we ain't mad at you.
Yeah, but that's part of our culture, though. I think sometimes we think things of beef. I think we're so far removed from black culture that we forget that, you know, the ideal of black. Like when I was a kid and we ride the bus, we'd have this thing where we'd be like, "Hey, we're gonna trash talk, right?" And like I'm gonna trash talk you. You're gonna trash talk me. We're gonna see who can roast the other person the most. And like that has always been our culture of, you know, jostling with one another,
Absolutely.
Roasting one another, you know, the dozens, you know, like that's always been our culture. So I think sometimes people think that like as black men, now here's the thing, I think with hypermasculinity and so many boys have not been raised with their fathers that now when you try to do that, dudes want to fight. And it's like, yo, it's not fight words, right? How many times you see me in the comment section be like, yo, dude, I'm not about to be mad at you for coming on the internet.
Nah.
Right?
I don't know you.
It's not happening, right? That's not going to happen. So I think Rich Paul, I think they're just taking shots. They take a jab. Like we just took a shot at Shannon. And Shannon has, right now, Club Shay Shay is probably the most entertaining pod on the internet.
If y'all have not watched the Marshawn Lynch interview,
like
there's so much in there.
He could possibly go past Joe Budden.
He could. Joe is just that nigga though. But
no, Joe is, but that's what I'm saying. Like that's how good Shannon's been for like the last 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah. But you know, we talked about this off mic. It's the guest.
Yes. yeah.
That's what
guest dependent.
But you know,
you're right.
But Shannon, you're absolutely correct. And I guess Stephen A. comments about when Rich Paul approached him and his take, it's almost like Stephen A. Smith, you have to remember he's in the entertainment business. And sometimes when he says stuff, it's kind of, he throw the sauce on it. He's throw the spin on it. He's like, they came up to me, I told Rich Paul, I don't give a fuck. You know, he's cursing now, which is cool. I mean, it's almost, Stephen A. Smith cursing is comparable to Drake when he talk about drugs and killings. It's all right. It's cool, bro. I don't believe you, but all right, whatever. But the thing was, it was interesting. Rich Paul had this thing, and I alert. I think me and Mike about to disagree. Never know. He had this take. Let me read the tweet, man, because they love my reading so much. I do want to let y'all know I do have a CMS education. Also in that, my mom removed me and sent me to a Christian school where they push you through because you was paying them. Nothing is better than when private schools, they will push you through. If I'm giving you 5 to 10 racks a semester, you better make sure my kid graduate. Right?
Amen.
Okay.
With a 3.8.
With a 3.8.
With a 3.8. That may be the lowest they get.
Look,
I don't care what they turn in.
And 3 letters of recommendation.
Yes.
I think they made up a club that I created at my Christian school. That shit was amazing. But anyway, this is from Clutch Points, just IG. But they're quoting Rich Paul, and it says, "No black agents came to me and said, 'Let me help you. Let me show you. Let me help you understand.' What they did was they went into families and talked bad about me. Oh, he's just a kid. He's just LeBron's friend. I don't expect that. I think he said, I didn't expect that. Excuse me. A person quoted this and said, hey, he had no degree. He had no prior experience. Not even being funny. Why would fellow black agents give him the game? He didn't even meet the basic requirements of that profession. He is blessed. LeBron took an interest in him. Leave it at that." In the final part, before we get to that, because somebody responded back, a black man responded back to, I don't know if this is Diggy Simmons or a chick who wrote the last comment. No comment. It was a word I had to bleep out in one episode, but anyway, a black man responded. He said, "I love tweets like this because it's a reminder that as a black man, you're on your own and shouldn't expect help or guidance from anyone, least of all people that look like you. No one is passionately gatekeeping success and wealth like black folks to other black folks." All right, Mike, react.
All right. I mean, I think everybody has some truth, right?
Okay.
And this is one of the things I hate about debate, because y'all are so terrible at it, is that you can have a point and that don't make you right? So each one of those people had a point. Now, I definitely think that Rich Paul is correct. Like, nobody helped him. And y'all know my whole stance in life, especially as black men, is like, yo, you're the hero that you've been waiting on. Right? There is no help coming. Right?
Facts.
You're gonna have to swim to shore. There is no help coming. That is the state of being black in this country. So I get Rich Paul. I'm sure he used that as motivation. I don't care about the gatekeepers, right? It's my job to figure out how to get around it. You know, we're in this pod space, and when we started, there was pods that looked better than our pod.
Facts.
They had bigger audiences, and they ain't fuck with us, right? We reach out and they ain't fuck with us. Right now that we're growing, a lot of those same pods are behind us now in a lot of things, and then now they're like, "Hey, are you gonna fuck with us?" Hey, we just talked about it, right? We're like, we're not guest dependent. We don't really want to create a show that becomes guest dependent. So, should you expect somebody to help you? Nah, it'd be nice if they did, but no, I don't expect anybody to come in and help.
I was going to ask you, have you ever been in an industry where gatekeeping is very prominent? But you talked about this pod.
Yeah, I mean the pod. I mean, I've been in sales my whole life.
Okay,
So
here's the thing: when you work for a corporation, gatekeeping is harder. Is more political, and it is some things out of your control that you don't. Oh, I think the beauty about gatekeeping is you're not in control, and you expect that your talent and merit should get you where it should get. Right?
Yes.
I worked in corporate where we. I've only probably told a few people here. Now we're about to tell a few hundred. I remember working in marketing, and we had a girl who was a woman. Excuse me. I'm trying to do better. Thank y'all for correcting me. But it was a woman who was the most talented woman in the room, person in the room. Excuse me. But we knew that because of the way society was moving, we had no choice but to put a woman in the position of power. Right. But it didn't matter to us because the top two candidates, the strongest two candidates were women. So it was perfect. It was like, all right, we have two women here that was there. And I remember the woman who was more talented did not get the job because she wasn't pretty enough. And this was the job we were trying to go into PR. We was trying to get into basically was going to be putting this person on TV all the time. And she left the company, not the job. I remember the day they told her, and I'm not telling you something I believed. I was there when the decision was made. She's not pretty enough.
They said that?
Yeah.
Damn.
And I was like, yo, I can't wait for y'all to try to fire my ass. I got so much shit. But it was one of those things, bro, when I remember the switch that went off with her not liking the job anymore, her not giving a damn no more, her not training nobody anymore, because she knew that was my job to get. Yeah. And it wasn't. And I realized, I see where she does now. Now, believe me, I believe in her story, even though she doesn't know this happened. I do believe part of her story is leaving that company to go start her business now that she has and she's uber successful in, right? But that's a part of gatekeeping. Me and you both know, we won't say it, and we've hinted at it on this podcast. We've reached out to pods, right? We've had bigger podcasts literally go 4 weeks straight and steal our content. Yep. Repeat it. Take points that we've said. Yeah. But they won't email us back. They won't call us back. They won't reach out and say, yo, let's sit down. Hey, we know y'all said y'all don't want to be on the network, but we are one of the biggest pods. We can help push y'all, right? Then we start looking at, I look at people in entertainment. I look at my life. I'm a photographer. I'm a photographer in this state, in this city. I'm one of the better photographers. I'm not the best by no means. Definitely in the top 10% at least in this city, right? And yo, you gotta kiss some ass. You gotta cuddle up to some people. It's some gatekeepers on the money in this city. It's some gatekeepers on placement in this city as far as photography goes. And I deal with that a lot, and I see how it burns a lot of people out. Now, I do believe there's some truth in, Rich Paul. Newsflash to Rich Paul. LeBron didn't sign to none of those black agents. Yeah. And I think that is something that I think a lot of black people have an issue with. Maybe at that time that maybe those brothers looking at it, it's like, yo, you want our help, but LeBron didn't come to us. He went to the white men who were more experienced, and you know how that goes. And also, I'm gonna put it like this: black people ain't the only people that gatekeep.
No, everybody gatekeep, especially those who will not be named on this pod.
Yo, Young Jock, don't you dare. Run from that dog.
Yeah, leave that shit alone. They run everything. They be like, we'll control the media. All y'all goddamn Muslim people. You can't be on MSNBC this week. Like, goddamn.
Like, bro, don't you dare, Young Jock.
Yeah, don't fuck with that.
It's when I say it like that, every time I reach out to white folks, and I have to specify that in my industry because they are the majority. White men are the majority. You know what always gets me through the door, bro? What? Short, concise, and you tell them what they want. They will make up their mind right then and there if they're gonna help you because they can calculate in their mind how much time it takes. Yeah. When black people, when we come and we asking for help, you know what it is? Hey, bro, I really don't even know, dog. I'm trying to get in this industry. Can you help me out? And it's like, well, what do you need help with? Do you need help with marketing? Do you need help with bookkeeping? Do you need help with equipment? Do you need help with funding? Do you need help with meeting somebody? I don't even know, big dog. Can you just throw me a bone? And it's like, no, bro, I do not have time because also as a black man, I am fighting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so one of the things that I've noticed is, so you do have to ask for help, right? Closed mouths don't get fed. And sometimes I think, even my frustration, I guess sometimes, like even with the pod, it's like, you know what? I realize I haven't even reached out to a lot of these people enough, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like you interact with them and you hope that they'll be, you're wishing that they say, hey, let me bring you in, right? But it's like, no, you're going to have to ask, right? Facts. Closed mouths don't get fed. Allow somebody the ability to reject you. Facts. Right? And because most of us don't want to deal with rejection, we don't. So we sit here and we hope that they see us. Yeah. And they're not going to see you because they busy. Right? Absolutely. If you're huge as hell, you're busy. Right? I'm busy making money. I don't have time to try to I'll see you when you get here. Right? But I don't have time to come down there and get you and bring you up here with me. Yeah. You're going to have to ask. And I think, I think Rich Paul is holding it as a chip, and I think that's his competitive edge.
And that's cool.
Yeah, but I don't think any of those black agents owed him anything. I think it would have been smart of them to realize that, like, hey, this is LeBron's boy. Let me be cool with him, right? Like, if there's somebody that I want to get in touch with, and I see their homeboy, their homegirl, and I got access to their homeboy or homegirl, I'm talking to them. Fact. So I don't think Rich Paul is wrong there, but nobody owes you anything. Nobody owes you anything.
Yeah, no, it's fair. And I always look at, like, for those who do know and don't know, I have a photography podcast, and I have people reach out to me all the time that are new photographers, like, yo, can you help? Can you give me insight and all this? And the funny part about all those conversations is, dog, I've been on other podcasts, bro, as a help, as far as like either getting it out there, recording. Those podcasts never come out. I shot a commercial for this guy, full blown commercial, bruh.
He
Getting
didn't
up
put it
at
out.
3 a.m. call times, and it's helping him get his stuff off the business. Ain't never came out. I've had people come sit in my office and I give them the insight and they don't care. And so, and honestly, bruh, if you really care, this is a newsflash to people on the lower level than Rich Paul, of course. Yo, if you really want somebody insight, ask them how much their time costs.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because sometimes that'll be your way for them to say, like, all right, you're willing to invest in education. Because when you go to school, when you go to CP, when you go to the University of South Carolina, when you go to Chapel Hill, when you go to Duke, when you go to Stanford, you got to pay those people. You know what I'm saying? But then you coming to me, who's going to give you I'm giving you the shortcut.
At least take them out for drinks.
Please,
like
you're gonna get so much more after that.
Yeah, like even if you don't have the ability to pay, right? At least have a budget where you could be like, all right, I want to take you here and talk to you a little bit about what's going on or what I'm doing, right? Tell me how you got to where you are. And like I said, even I struggle with it, right? Because I hate asking for help. It's like it's probably like that's probably like the one thing I will not ask for. And it's like one of my favorite Jay-Z lines says, like, I'll tighten my belt before I ask for help. Right? Like, and it's like, that line resonates with me. But when we're trying to drive and grind, right? Like, especially with us trying to go into media, like, I know y'all see the pod, but eventually this is going to be media. Everything we do is going to be media based. So, we do need to ask for help. And I don't think that anybody is gatekeeping per se, right? I think that we don't ask for help enough. And Rich Paul should, at that time, if he wanted to deal with those black agents, he should ask for help. I get Rich Paul's point, right?
Yeah.
You're a successful black agent. You see me over here. I'm by myself. I'm small. No one really mess with. Now, look, if Rich Paul was going to NBA Player Association events and dudes were avoiding him, then that's fucked up, right? Because if I ever go to a pod event, right, and it's majority white in the pod, right, and I'm there and it's a few large black pods there and no one comes up to me. Right now, it's my responsibility. I'm a grown ass man. I'm gonna walk up to them. Yeah. But if I was a shy young guy, as Rich Paul was in that time, then like I would feel away. I'm not even gonna lie.
Oh, facts.
I'd feel away.
I'll tell y'all this: when it comes to photography and art in Charlotte, North Carolina, definitely some gatekeepers, and they giving it to everybody that ain't from here. We'll leave it out there. Y'all know. If you know, you know. Last thing of the day, man. Your boy Smitty, man, Agent 89. What
him and Judy. Hey, so you know what? So I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna be brief on this. And this goes for us. It goes for especially us on this podcast. Because sometimes we interact with y'all in the comment section. If you say something to somebody or say something about somebody on your podcast or on TV and you see them in real life and they have an issue with you, that's your issue, right? You can't just say, "Oh, I just said it on the pod." No. You said something and you made somebody feel away. All right. Facts. Now it's time to have a conversation. I think it was wrong of Steve to try to call Jerry Judy over after you called him just another guy. Right?
Yeah.
Like you got to have that conversation before the camera starts. Don't come over here and try to show me that you're the elder statesman. Right? If I was 22 and 6'2" like Jerry Judy, and there was a 5'8", 45-year-old guy in front of me, I am probably going to be very, very annoyed with you.
Yeah. And I'm going to tell y'all, I don't F with you.
Yeah. So I wish Jerry Judy didn't do it. I wish Steve Smith didn't do it. But as men, though, like if Steve Smith knew he was going to see Jerry Judy that night and he was going to say, "Hey, man, I was saying that to motivate you. I was saying that, to see if I could, light a fire under your ass." You got to have that conversation before the cameras come on.
You do.
Like you have to have that conversation before the cameras come on.
It's one of those tough conversations that, as a young guy, when older cats reach out to me and talk to me, it's like, yo, put that in the comments. Like, and I get it, you know what I'm saying? Or reach out to me and then we can do the Rich Paul and I come on Stephen A. Smith show and we talk, right? But also I'm with you. Yo, you say people get on these podcasts, people get on TV, they say shit because you get excited. Somebody put a battery in your back. I look, a lot of these podcasts, they get off on, yo, we all liquored up and we drinking.
Yeah.
Right. And you get excited and you say something and then you do run across somebody. Cause I didn't say something. I done lost friendships over these podcasts. Right. So I get it. Right. And it was some conversations I had to say. It was some texts had to get sent out. It was I even had one cat, shout out to Corey. He know what he did. My man, we was in the car. My man turned the pod on. I was like, oh shit, we about to do this here. You know what I'm saying?
So let's have a conversation.
Yeah.
And that's the thing, right? I always try to make sure if I say something, if I tweet something, that I can stand on. Like, thank God I was not on Twitter in 2012. Because y'all were wilding. Like, some of y'all old tweets be coming back. And I be like, yo, this stuff that was, this stuff that was in group chats. But yeah, you should not put that on social media.
My Facebook pulled up like 15 years ago. And I wrote, it said Gavin is, and I put saying fuck love. And I was like, what is that? I was never even an emo kid. Like, what the? But yeah, on Twitter, that was wilding out. It was like, yo, you could be explicit. You know, you couldn't put no pictures and videos and shit up.
Yeah. Y'all were getting it off back then.
And you slide in people DMs freely and just say the wildest shit you want, delete your account. You know what I'm saying? It was some wild shit back then. But yeah, man, yo, you got to stand on your words. And when somebody approach you, you got to either man up or, yo, be comfortable. Here's the other thing.
Or apologize. Like, sometimes you're wrong. Like, there's nothing wrong with saying, you know what?
I got more information. I'm sorry.
I shouldn't say that. My bad.
And look, next week when I get on the mic, I will correct it.
Exactly. Like,
all you gotta do.
There's nothing wrong with apologize, man. Like, this, and again, it goes back to this hyper masculinity that exists in the world. Because hyper masculinity is sensitive masculinity, by the way. It's not more masculinity. It is being you being overly sensitive as fuck as a man. And when men overreact, typically, you know, it becomes outbursts, right? And it could be either a verbal outburst or a physical outburst. So, like, a lot of what you see is like this sensitive, I don't know how to control myself. I don't know how to control my emotions. I don't even know how to apologize. I don't know how to, you know, reciprocate, you know, an apology, right? Like, if somebody if somebody violates you and, you know, you're so steeped in, you know, nah, you violated me, so I gotta take your life. Like, that's idiocy, right?
It really is. It's wild. Look, man, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. I do apologize for the delay. I will say this though, I'm gonna be at a wedding and a couple birthday parties this weekend. Run up on me. Let's take a picture so I can post it, so I can show Mike that we got fans. You know what I'm saying? What you doing this weekend?
Don't know yet. I'm trying to see if I can golf, but it rained today.
How long y'all gotta wait before y'all can golf?
Man, you gotta let the ground dry. So I don't know. If the sun comes out today, plus it's cold. I hate the cold.
Absolutely,
I hate the cold.
There, sidebar. There was one of these. Travis Scott's is released some golf shoes, and one of the stores, you have to show that you can drive a golf ball like so many yards to even get a chance to purchase the store.
I actually like that.
Yeah, I seen a lot of.
How many chances do I get?
I don't think it was crazy. I think it was like something like 100 yards.
Oh, okay, that's nothing. No,
yeah.
Okay, I thought it could be like 250. 250 is sometimes hard. Like, people think that you gonna go out there and hit a golf ball 300 yards. That doesn't happen.
Look, I ain't never hit a golf ball a day in my life. I tried. I was like, oh, I'm good on this.
That doesn't happen.
But it was. I thought the idea was smooth because their idea was we don't want people buying these shoes just to run the price up.
Oh, yeah.
And they never gonna wear them because they don't golf.
Oh, that makes sense. I like that.
It was like a golf store that was getting them. So it was like super funny. Anyway, man, look, I want to thank y'all for tuning in. Send this out to a couple of dads. Carly Russell, man, I got 2 G's for you to come on the pod. I just want to ask you one question.
2
what
G's.
did that nigga do?
Oh, yeah. Okay.
What did he do? That's all I want to ask.
I'll donate. I got it.
Yeah. Look, we gonna make it back. Look, we gonna be monetized after that.
I got it. I got it.
Don't go on Candace Owens, but I just want to ask you, what did bruh do?
What did he do? Oh, yeah.
And bro, I got 500 for you if you want to come on.
Yeah, nobody care what black man think.
Not at all. And with that, we're gonna holler at y'all next time.
Holler at your boy.